So over the weekend, John finally decided to dehydrate some wild game meat and make jerky. So we're going to show you guys today how to make wild game jerky in the dehydrator. So John basically took over my channel over the weekend and I just held the camera. So I'm going to just let him take over and show you guys how he makes his wild game meat jerky. And I just want to say that I am including this in the hashtag Let's Dehydrate. Now this is an open playlist hosted and started by Page Family Homestead, Our Journey Back. So I want to thank you guys for doing this, and guys, go check out the playlist. There are tons of dehydrating videos included in the playlist, and I'm super excited to be adding one of my own videos to it. Actually, John's, he gets all the credit. So, all right, guys, without further ado, let's get into today's video. All right, John's gonna make jerky today. He's starting off with
putting parchment paper down on the counter.
All right.
Got wax paper down to start the jerky process, so I'm just going to put some tape on the edges so it doesn't slide around when I'm putting the seasoning on the meat. One more little piece. So now what I do is use the ground meat, the antelope meat, is what we're doing our jerky this time on.
And you could substitute that with hamburger meat if you want, or any kind of ground beef, or maybe even ground turkey, right, John, or chicken?
Yeah.
But we are using antelope meat because that's what we have.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna get this all opened up, and we'll be right back.
So I started with 4 packages. I'm not sure exactly how much the weight is, but
yeah, I think they're a pound.
So probably close to, I don't know, probably more than that.
A little more?
Yeah.
So maybe
a couple pounds per package, maybe. Or £1.5 pounds, maybe, huh?
Yeah, so we got about between 4 to 6 pounds of ground beef, ground antelope, but you can, like I said, use ground beef if you want.
So what I do is I just, since it's ground beef, or ground meat, I spread it out, so when I season it, it gets seasoned evenly across all the meat. So, you could probably just dump it in the middle, but then I've done that before in the past, and some of it's real salty, and some of it's not seasoned at all, so... So that's kind of why I spread it out, just to get it, so when I season it evenly, it comes out, tastes good. So I just kind of spread it out like cookie dough.
Do you want a rolling pin?
No, I think it might stick.
But you could use one if you wanted to. You could use a rolling pin to kind of roll it out.
Yeah, you could. Probably use a rolling pin, maybe put some... maybe some non-stick spray or something on it. I'm just afraid it might stick, but this way I can see how thick it is by feeling. Okay, that's probably pretty good right there. Alright, so we got the meat spread out, so now we're ready to season it. I know some people use different seasonings, but this is what we found at the store because I wanted to do it this weekend. But there's different styles and flavors out there. I like the original because it kind of gives it a kind of a barbecue-ish flavor, and then you can add different things to it. I like to spice mine up, so maybe put some cayenne pepper, maybe some red pepper in it. So let's open it up. This kit will do up to 15 pounds, so we said we got about 6 pounds. So let's see what we have in the kit here. So there's 2 packages, and one is the cure, which you're supposed to put that on. It helps to keep it from spoiling on you. This helps the meat stay fresh and keeps it from going bad. So the instructions call for 1 ounce of your seasoning per 5 pounds of meat. So we'll probably do a little bit over 1 ounce because we figure we got between 5 to 6 pounds. So we'll do maybe 1 ounce and a little bit more for seasoning, and then the cure is the same. So for 5 pounds, 1 ounce of cure for the mixture. And then I'll add in my extra flavors. I like to put in maybe some cayenne pepper and maybe some red crushed pepper, and we'll go from there. And so we're going to use our food scale to weigh how much seasoning to put in the mixture. So we're going to use this little jar here, or container. I've already got it tared out, so we're at 0. So when I put the seasoning in, it'll come up to 1 ounce, and we'll call it good. So here's our seasoning. So that's 0.1. 0.5. 0.7. I'm getting there. There's 1 ounce right there. That's about how much. But I'm going to go a little bit more. So probably 1 point. Let's go a little bit more. So 1.2 ounces. And then I'm going to use this container to mix it all in. It used to have Montreal steak seasoning in it, but it's empty now. So I'm going to put my seasoning, and then we'll measure cure and put that in there as well. Dump it over the jerky in case I spill some. Which I did. Put a little bit right there. Okay, so now we'll put some cure. Which again, this is to keep it fresh and keep it last longer so it doesn't spoil. Okay. So now we'll put an ounce of cure. This is to keep it fresh. And there's 1 ounce. So we'll put that in our jug and mix it. So I'm going to put the lid on. Shake it up. To be honest with you, that doesn't really look right.
No? Does it look like too much or too less?
Doesn't look like enough. So, I mean, really I should use 1/3 of the pack. There's 3 ounces. Yeah, it says it's 3 ounces, so it just doesn't look like enough seasoning to me.
Well, you do like to put a lot of seasoning on stuff, so maybe you just do more usually.
Yeah, I might just put a little more in here. Maybe 1 more ounce.
Of seasoning or cure or both?
Of seasoning. 0.8 because I had 0.2 in there.
All right, so we're adding a little more. Dawn doesn't think that's enough seasoning. Have you used this particular spice pack before?
Uh-huh.
You have?
It's been a while.
Okay, it's been a while. Okay.
So we're going to make it an even 2 ounces just because I think this is a lot of meat, really.
Mm-hmm.
I think we kind of underestimated maybe the weight.
Yeah, we opened up 4 packs the way it came from the processor. Yeah, so... but we assumed it's a 1 pound pack, but I don't think it is. We should have measured one of the packs.
Yeah. Okay, that looks more like it. Okay, so now it's got a little fine opening, so now I can kind of control how much I dump on the jerky. So we'll just kind of slowly just kind of go around the edges first. Then we'll go in the middle.
So you're just spiraling from the outside to the inside.
Yep, just to get it even.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the one thing you don't want to season it unevenly, and then you get a piece of jerky and it doesn't taste anything, and then get one that feels like you're eating a bottle of salt. Put a little bit of cayenne pepper in there, just light. Just to give it a little tang. And then a little red pepper. Okay, that should be good. So now what we do is kind of roll it in together and make sure it's all evenly, as close to even as you could get it to even spiced all over. So I just kind of roll it up like this. I roll it unseasoned bottom part on top of the seasoned part. That way it all kind of gets a little bit of seasoned all over. Okay, so now that we've got the meat prepared and it's ready to go on the dehydrator, we use a jerky shooter, and I think this is the American Harvest brand right here. There's different styles, different ones that you can use, different tips you can use. I like to have the flat because it's kind of a typical looking jerky, but you can use the round tube, whatever you prefer. And then here's the dehydrator, and I have, I think, 7 or 8 trays. And this is an older dehydrator. It's the American Harvest brand. And then it's got a temperature setting on it right here, which usually I just keep it at the max, which is like 145 degrees. This is an older dehydrator, but there's plenty of them out there that you could use. So what we do is use our jerky shooter, if you want to call it that, and then put the meat in the tube. I usually use a spoon because I can kind of push it down in there, and then start putting different layers on there, and let's get started.
Okay, we're ready.
So here we go. We'll kind of cut it a little bit, get like a shape that will kind of fit in there, and then just kind of push it in there. Then I kind of use my spoon to push it down in there, get a little bit more. If you put too much in, then you can't get the pusher in there, so that's usually about as much as I put, and then this mates up to it like this. And then just screw it on like that. So now we're ready to put the raw meat on the trays. And so I usually like to do from the center out, and then as I work out I just kind of spin this around. As you see, this can spin, so let's go. So you just pull your trigger on your jerky gun, and then as you see, when I get to the end I use the spoon to kind of cut it off, and then I'll just do another layer. It's like a grease gun for you guys out there and gals that are mechanics.
Not me.
So usually what I do is when it's full I make the long ones, and as I get to the end where it starts to run out of meat, I use the what's left in here to make the little shorter ones. See if we got enough for one more long one. Yep. So you can kind of see we're still got quite a bit of material in here. I usually try to get them as close as I can, because if I don't want to run out of space on the dehydrator. Even though I've got, I think, seven or eight trays. There you go. See, I'm at the end of so now it's back to refill. So I go back over here to refill. So now we're on our second round here, and of course, like I said, get it close, because that way you don't run out of tray space. Unless you got 15 or 20 trays, that you don't have to worry about it. But you just never know how much space you'll need with as much meat as you're gonna dehydrate. Okay, now we're ready for a new tray. Okay, so now we're going to fill up the rest of these trays, and I'm just going to keep going here. I started the first tray, and I'll do the same pattern for the next trays, and just keep going till I have no more of the seasoned meat to put in the tray. So we'll be back in a little bit. Now we're getting down to the last batch. I could easily put this last bit in the jerky shooter. And I might be able to fit this all in the last tray as well. I've got actually 2 more trays if I need them, but I think we'll be good. Get it all this in this last tray here. So what I like to do with the last tray is make some shorter pieces, because that way I can sample without taking all the trays off, and make sure it's done. I can just lift off the top cover and check it and make sure I got it cooked enough, if you want to call it that. Okay, so the last step here, so I get every last bit, is take the end piece off. And as you can see, no more in the shooter, but I got a little bit right here. So as you can see, this is the nozzle. There's a little bit left in there that the jerky gun can't get out, so I just kind of use my fingers to push the rest through to kind of make a, as you can see, it's kind of coming out there. Good. Every last bit we can here. Almost done, and then I use the spoon to push through the last bit. There we go. We're done putting it on the trays. So now we can put the top cover on. Put it on like that. And now we can plug it into the power. So, like I said earlier, we're going to put the temperature at the highest. Which in this case it says for meats and fish, 63 degrees centigrade or 145 degrees Fahrenheit. So we'll go ahead and plug it in and let it go. And so we'll usually let it run, depending on how you, if you like yours very dehydrated and dry, or if you like it, you know, not so dry. But I generally leave it go for 6 to 8 hours. So at 6 hour mark, I'll probably check it and see how it is, and then determine if I'm done or let it go for another hour or maybe 2 hours. So we'll check back then.
All right, it's been
8 hours since we've started the dehydrator, so now we're going to shut it off or unplug it.
So now you're going to bag those up and put them in these little baggies. So you're saying that you should use, when you're using game meat for this, you need to have your game meat frozen for 30 days?
60 days.
Oh, 60 days. Okay. So if you're using game meat, it's recommended that you use game meat that has been frozen for at least 60 days.
Right. And then if you're going to dehydrate it, you should have it at a temperature for at least 30 minutes for, I think it's whatever temperature it's set on here, like 150 degrees or so.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just to be on the safe side with game meat.
That's John's jerky recipe, and he always gets lots of compliments on it. And usually we give this away for Christmas gifts and things like that. I don't know what will happen this year with this, with everything going on, but we're going to enjoy this really yummy recipe and probably share it with families. So thanks for watching.
Yep, thanks. Have a good one.
So that was today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Now, John was a trooper. Thank you, John, for jumping in for me today and participating. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, I want to thank Page Family Homestead, our journey back, for putting together this playlist. It's the hashtag Let's Dehydrate. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you're new to my channel, I hope that you will subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you've tried this or if you guys are into dehydrating, and I hope to do, you know, a few more of these types of videos in the future. Thanks so much, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.